The darkness of that night still haunts me. It was a night like any other, or so I thought. I never believed in ghosts or the supernatural, but what happened that night changed everything. I feel compelled to share my story, not for validation or understanding, but as a warning to those who, like me, once scoffed at the idea of the unknown. It all began when my friends and I decided to spend a weekend at an abandoned mansion deep in the woods. The stories surrounding the place were chilling, tales of unexplained disappearances and eerie apparitions. Naturally, we brushed them off as mere superstitions, eager to prove our courage. The mansion loomed before us as we arrived. Its once grand facade was now a crumbling, foreboding presence. Ivy climbed the decaying walls, and shattered windows gaped like hollow eyes. The front door hung ajar, beckoning us to explore. We entered cautiously, our footsteps echoing through the cavernous hall. It was dark, and we relied on our flashlights to pierce the oppressive blackness. The air was stale, heavy with the weight of time. I could feel my heartbeat quicken, but I refused to let fear get the better of me. As we ventured deeper into the mansion, strange occurrences began to unsettle us. Whispers drifted through the air, but there was no one there. Shadows danced in corners of our vision, vanishing when we turned to confront them. I tried to dismiss it as our imagination running wild, but the unease gnawed at me. Then, we stumbled upon a room that sent shivers down my spine. The walls were adorned with sinister symbols, their meaning unknown to us. In the center of the room, a dusty mirror reflected our terrified faces. But as we stared into it, our reflections began to contort and twist, revealing grotesque, contorted versions of ourselves. Panicked, we fled the room, only to find ourselves in a hallway that seemed to stretch on endlessly. Each door we tried led to the same eerie room, with the nightmarish mirror mocking us. It was as if the mansion itself was toying with our sanity. Hours passed, and our terror grew. We were lost, trapped in a labyrinthine nightmare. Our flashlights dimmed, casting long, eerie shadows. We could hear voices now, disembodied whispers that seemed to come from the very walls. They spoke in a language unknown to us, but the dread in their tone was unmistakable. One by one, my friends began to vanish. One moment they were there. The next, they were swallowed by the darkness. I called out to them, but my cries echoed unanswered. I was alone, utterly alone, in that accursed place. As I wandered the endless halls, a growing sense of hopelessness enveloped me. I had no concept of time anymore. It could have been minutes or days that I spent in that mansion. Hunger and thirst gnawed at me, but I dared not stop, for fear of what lurked in the shadows. Then I heard it, a mournful, agonized wail that chilled me to the bone. It echoed through the mansion, filling every corner with its dreadful lament. I followed the sound, my heart pounding in my chest. I came upon a room bathed in an otherworldly, eerie light. In the center of the room stood a figure shrouded in darkness. It turned to face me, and I saw its eyes, black voids that seemed to devour all light. It reached out to me, and I felt a force pulling me closer, as if an invisible hand tugged at my very soul. I resisted, summoning every ounce of willpower left within me. I fled from that room, back into the endless hallway, away from the horrifying apparition. But the mansion seemed to conspire against me, twisting and shifting, leading me back to that accursed room, again and again. Desperation overcame me. I had no choice but to face the figure once more. As I entered the room, it whispered in a voice that seemed to come from the depths of the abyss, "You are mine now, forever. The world dissolved around me, and I was consumed by an overwhelming darkness. I lost all sense of self, all memories of who I once was. I became a part of the mansion, a tormented soul trapped for eternity in its nightmarish depths. And so, I share my story as a warning to all who dare to scoff at the supernatural. There are forces beyond our understanding, malevolent entities that prey on the foolish and the curious. The mansion still stands, waiting for its next victim, its hunger for souls insatiable. Beware, for once you enter, there is no escape.